Hey guys, check out what I have right here. This is a Quackenbush safety cartridge rifle. It's a boy's rifle, 22. I'm very excited to show this to you guys. Stick around. Now first, before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over there at Workaday Custom Gun Leather, custom made to order. Go ahead and check them out. So what I'm holding in my hands right here is a Quackenbush safety cartridge rifle. This is a very, very unique rifle. So this rifle was marketed as a boys takedown rifle. These were manufactured between 1893 and 1920, so a very short span. Now this particular rifle that I'm holding in my hands, it doesn't have a serial number on it, but the best I can gather from it, from the proof marks, is between the years of 1886 and 1896. So about a 10-year span when I'm estimating that this rifle was manufactured. Very cool. So, what kind of a name is Quackenbush? Well, actually, it comes from the creator's name. The man's name was Henry Quackenbush, and what he set out to do was manufacture cheap boys' rifles. Back in the days when boys could actually be boys. So, with this particular rifle, it's a 22 long or 22 short. Now, given the age, I only shoot 22 shorts out of these, particularly 22 CBs. And that's pretty much just to protect myself and protect the gun, keeping that pressure low. So let's get a little bit of background on my particular rifle. So my buddy got a hold of me following the passing of one of his family members, and they were selling off the estate, and he came across a very unusual rifle, this one. And he knows that I like to tinker around with old or unusual firearms. So he gets a hold of me and he says, hey, you might be interested in this. I think it's a Quackenbush. That's what it says on the side anyway. That's a quote. And the first thing I thought was, what the hell is a Quackenbush? So I started to dig down that rabbit hole, and I learned quite a bit about this thing. These are very, very neat rifles. Now, mine's going to be an older one. It's got a brass butt blade on there, and it looks to be either brass or a chrome receiver here, but because of the age and the neglect, it's kind of hard to tell. As you can see, there's quite a bit of wear on the rifle, and when I initially acquired it, this thing was just a block of rust and a piece of wood for a stock. Essentially, I just bought it to support the family and planned on using it as a wall hanger, but then I got the itch. So I blasted the action with ballistol, assuming that there's going to be the possibility of black powder fouling in there given the age of this thing. Now, my buddy says that his family's had the rifle in their family for about 60 years, but that doesn't account for the additional, maybe 80 years that this thing's been around, so who knows who carried this thing. Anyway, I saw extensive use in this thing. I blasted it with ballistol, finally got this thing to work a little bit, and I was able to open the action up, take things apart, get the takedown out, and I was able to unscrew things and individually clean the parts. Now, it works. So when I was digging into it and cleaning it up, and it still needs quite a bit of TLC, as you can obviously see, I was cleaning out what appeared to be a lot of, obviously, rust, but a lot of black powder residue. So that leads me to believe that, given the guesstimate age, the hypothesis age for this thing, that seems pretty accurate. If it was manufactured in the late 1800s, they were likely still using black powder or corrosive primered 22s for this. Now again, in my tests, I've used a 22 blank in it, but not like a charged blank, but just like a dead shell, and it's chambered. But again, given the age, I'm not going to be firing 22 long rifles, especially anything high velocity out of this. So 22 CBs will be just fine for this. So the rifle actually handles remarkably well. It's got the straight wrist on the stock right there, and you can get a hold of it pretty nice. And you can point, and obviously it's not loaded, but you can point it pretty darn well. It's a little bit top heavy, but if you want to look, it's got a pretty fair balance. I'd say, a little bit of front heavy, but it's a heavier barrel. Look at that. A little bit of a heavier barrel, which is a good thing. And obviously the back end's going to be lighter, but when you're putting it to the shoulder, it holds up pretty good. Now the sights are going to be fixed. The rear sight is going to be a screw in, and it looks fine to me. It looks like a dovetail drift in, and then with that screw going down the center of it, it fixes it to the barrel. Now the front one, that's essentially a bead sight. That's been hammered flat, so it works. It's a cheap rifle. It was manufactured to be cheap right from the start back in the day. So for my test shot, just to make sure that it even functioned, it seemed to do just fine. I saw no damage, no wear in it from the shot anyway, and it seemed to hold up pretty darn well. Now, one thing I want to show you is the action is very unique. It's a swivel block action. You pop it open just like that, and it's got this little detent right here with a spring that's pinned in place, and that's what closes up the action. Pretty neat, huh? Here's the cocking piece, so it's got safety, fire. Now, if you want to decock it, you can hold the lever and then pull the trigger, or you can pop it open and reach underneath where you can see right here, press that, and it'll release the firing pin safely so it's not impacting on the steel. It's pretty darn cool. I guess that's why they call it a safety rifle, right? So when you go to chamber it, all you do is you stick the cartridge in there, close it up, and cock it. Now after you fire, you're going to see the extractor in here. When you swivel the breech open, the extractor will actuate off the track. It's kind of a shaped extractor on a track in there. So when you actuate the breech block, it'll actually push the extractor out. It's pretty cool. It's very simple engineering, but it's surprisingly well made for a cheaper rifle back in the day. So I know we're all wondering, how well does this thing shoot? How well does it actually shoot? So we're going to go out to the range, and we're going to start off at 25 yards, which I expect would be, that'd probably be where the sights are set at. And we're going to see how it does on paper. Maybe do a couple challenge targets, maybe some pop cans or something just for fun. And if it does well enough, we're going to reach out to 50. Stick around, you guys are going to love this. Now, I don't think I can get a really good look at it. It's kind of hard to get the camera to focus, but the rifling is looking pretty rough down there. So I don't know what that's going to mean for live fire. Well, as it turns out, Henry Quackenbush was quite the inventor. He came out with a couple different versions of this rifle. One of the best known of these unknown rifles is the bicycle rifle. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a rifle to be put into a bicycle. It's got a wire stock that retracts or folds up. And I tell you, if I can find one, I'm definitely getting it. It's too unique to pass up. But anyway, let's get to shooting. Well, here we go at 25. Let's see how we pattern up. Can't even see an impact on that one. There's a hit. Prospects are not looking very good. Definitely favoring left. Well, given the age, kind of what you expect a little bit, but that's kind of what we're looking at 25. Not particularly great. Now, a very real possibility we could be dealing with here is maybe it was meant for 22 long rifles or 22 longs. Maybe a little bit more oomph. Who's to say? I'm just not going to take that risk with this older rifle, so I'm going to stick to the 22 shorts. Patterns are not very good, but it is what it is. You got something that's well over 100 years old, and it's pretty beat up. That's kind of what you expect. So it could be a number of factors what's going on here. So I got 3 shots left at 22 shorts, and at 25 yards, why not? I'm going to take a couple shots of those swingers, see if I can make them ring. I'm not really expecting much here given what we just saw. That's 2. We got 1 more. No such luck. Well, maybe I'll just have to try again another day. Well, there you have it, guys. A little bit of a disappointing ending for the Quackenbush here. I didn't expect miracles out of this thing, but, you know, you can hope. I'll see if I can acquire some more 22 shorts and see if I can make something work with this. As of right now, obviously with the ammo shortage, they're kind of hard to come by. So we'll see what the future brings us. Hopefully there's going to be a part 2 for this. As of right now, it's a neat rifle. I'm sure in its day it was a dead ringer, but based on what we saw today, not so much. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time.